In this movie, I'll show you how to transform and warp this vector-based smart object around the contours of this fellow's arm. Notice that my smart object is selected here in the Layers panel. I'm going to go ahead and rename it Tiger Tattoo because that's what it's going to be. And then, just to get my bearings, I'm going to go up to the Edit menu and choose the Transform command. And notice here in the submenu that we can scale, rotate, and skew this layer, but we can't apply the distort, perspective, or warp effects. Now that doesn't have anything to do with the fact that this layer is a smart object. It has everything to do with the fact that it came from Illustrator. But there's a very simple, if not particularly obvious solution, and that is to go ahead and select that layer, then go up to the Layer Panel Flyout menu and choose Convert to Smart Object again. Even though it's already a smart object, we're going to place it inside of another smart object. If you loaded my D key shortcuts, I've given you a keyboard shortcut of Control comma or Command comma on the Mac. Now, if we go up to the Edit menu and choose Transform, you'll see that all of the options are available. Now, we want to apply them in one operation using the free Transform command. So I'll go ahead and choose the command or press Control-T or Command-T on the Mac. And I'm going to start off by scaling and rotating the artwork. And these are the values I just happen to come up with. I'm going to change the width value to 64% and the height to 82%. Because I reasoned that once this artwork was tattooed on this guy's arm, it would end up stretching vertically. And now I'm going to change the angle value to 18 degrees. And if your values end up changing on you just a little bit, it's not the end of the world. It's not actually going to affect the quality of the final image. Now I'm going to warp the artwork, and I'll do so by clicking on a warp icon over here on the right side of the options bar. And I start things out by setting the warp style to arch. And then I went ahead and bent this tiger just by dragging this top anchor point there. But while that works well for wrapping the tiger around the sort of volumetric cylinder-like shape of his arm, we're not tracing the actual bulges. That is, the way the bicep bulges and the way the shoulder goes in and then back out and so forth. So while arch is a good starting point, I'm going to switch over to custom so that I gain access to these corner handles as well as these levers. So I'm going to move this handle up to about this location here, and then I'll drag this lever out like so. And notice that that's stretching at the artwork. And then I'll go ahead and move this top right handle up a little bit. And I'll drag this lever up and over as well so that we're twisting the tattoo pretty heavily into the shoulder. And I found that exaggerating the effect helped a lot because that ends up showing that the artwork is actually contouring to the shape of this guy's arm. All right, I'm going to drag this guy down, maybe drag this anchor point up a little bit like so. Take the lever up as well. Take this lever over to about this location, should work out. I'll drag the corner handle to here, move this lever up so that we have a little more bend at the bottom. Take this guy up quite a bit as well. I really wanted to exaggerate the bulge of the arm there. And then I'll grab this lever and take it up. And by the way, you can also drag directly on the image if you like. So in this case, I'm dragging on the tiger's face in order to lift that central face area upward. And that's pretty much the effect I'm looking for. And don't worry about the fact that the flames are extending beyond the edge of the arm. We'll take care of that later. Go ahead and press the Enter key or the Return key on the Mac in order to exit the free transform mode and apply that warp effect to your artwork. And by the way, because we're working with the smart object, you can always change your mind. If you want to make a few adjustments, just press Control-T or Command-T to once again enter the free transform mode. Go ahead and click on that warp icon in order to switch to the warp mode. And then go ahead and drag at any point in the artwork you like in order to further stretch it. So I might go ahead and drag up on his chin, for example, in order to lift it upward just a little bit as well. And then I'll press the Enter key or the Return key on the Mac to accept my latest modifications. And you know what? I have to say that his eyes are looking a little crooked. It looks like his face is bending right there. Don't like that, so again, I'll just press Control-T, Command-T on the Mac to enter free transform mode. Go ahead and click on the warp icon, and then I'm just going to drag his face down a little bit like so. I think that might end up looking a little better. And maybe take this lever up as well to raise that left eye, and that looks like that should work pretty well. So I'll press the Enter key or the Return key on the Mac in order to apply yet another heaping helping of warp. So you can do that as much as you want, and you will get non-destructive results as long as you're working with a smart object, combined in this case with vector-based artwork here inside Photoshop.